Sup guys, this is my second video, and while I've been away, I decided to change my YouTube name to MatchaValley. For some context, my old name, Grippy, came from me wanting to use grip tape as my in-game name. I just thought it sounded funny. But then I decided to change it to MatchaValley, because I'm Asian, I like matcha, and it's a play on the name Machiavelli. So today's video is about time me and my friends were being absolutely stupid, and I ended up cutting not one, but both of my index fingers. But before we get to that, I need to give you guys some context on what we're like when we're being stupid. Cause this definitely wasn't a one-time thing. After that, I'll tell you everything that led up to, me getting little pieces of glass stuck in both my fingers. And I'll also tell you about the new rule that school made, specifically because of us. So I got this friend that's usually my partner in crime. For the sake of the video, we'll call him Lenny. And for context, this happened not long before my glass fingers incident. One day, Lenny was just casually, if you can call it that, casually, playing with a pair of scissors. He was twirling it, flipping it, and was just playing with it. Sometime after he stopped playing with it, he suddenly goes, "Oh shit, why am I bleeding?" As a normal person would definitely think, oh, it must have been because of the scissors. No, he's oblivious and he just says, "Oh shit, why am I bleeding?" So we all looked at him, and once we realized what's happening, right, that he's bleeding, we just went, "Oh shit." And apparently, basic survival instincts do not exist for me and my friend. Once me and my other friends calmed down a bit, we immediately brought him to the school nurse, and luckily, the cut wasn't so deep. So, the school nurse just put some antiseptic and patched him up. And you guys are probably thinking, oh, thank goodness, that must have been the moment you guys learned not to play with sharp objects. Nope. Nope. Definitely not. Cause if anything, that whole incident was foreshadowing. Now let me ask you guys something. What do you get when you put a bunch of high hormone teenage boys together for weeks at a time? A fun time? Question mark? No. Well, okay, actually not wrong, but no. We weren't students. We were monkeys. We were monkeys. And you know when people say, stop monkeying around, usually they mean it metaphorically, right? But no, that was basically our school motto. And since it was a boarding school, we stayed in dorms for weeks. No parents half the time, and usually barely any supervision. Just teenage boys and very, very bad ideas. So, if you combine no supervision, zero survival instincts, and a proven history of playing with sharp objects, what you get
is a fun trip to the ER!
Now, the reason I even got injured in the first place was something completely normal. I just wanted to change my screen protector. So, every few weeks, we were allowed to go home, and one time, I bought a new glass screen protector. Because my old one is cracked. Simple, right? No. So, when I went back to school, I immediately just went to the dorm. I just went to sleep. So naturally, the next day, I brought it to class. And during recess, that's when I decided to change it. And that was the start of a very, very, very bad decision. So I was sitting there, changing my cracked glass screen protector, while all my friends watched. Then one of them goes, "Yo, we should take turns karate chopping it." And you can guess who this is, right? And just to be clear, this was cracked glass. And instead of someone saying, "Oh, maybe that's a bad idea," we all said, "Bet." So we started taking turns hitting it. And somehow, even though it is already cracked, it wouldn't fully break. And, oh my goodness, you're impressed, right? Bro, this thing is strong. Then it was my turn to hold it. And of course, the next person up was Lenny. Up till then, everyone was hitting it pretty lightly, but enough strength to make it more and more cracked. Lenny did not. He smacked it as hard as he could, and this screen protector finally shattered. And at the exact same time, I felt a sharp pain in both my index fingers. I looked down. Glass stuck in both of my fingers. A second later, blood started pouring out. Suddenly, it wasn't funny anymore. My friends, everyone, Lenny, they all rushed me to the nurse. I explained what happened, and when the senior nurse came, she thought it was just a small cut and pressed down hard with a piece of cloth. Like, to put pressure on the wound. Not realizing there were still pieces of glass inside of my fingers. Eventually, they sent me to the ER to make sure everything was properly removed. It wasn't dramatic, just, painful and embarrassing. But the worst part, the next day, me and Lenny got called to the principal's office. He looked at us and said, "How the are you guys this stupid?" Fair question. So we got 2 weeks of detention, and because of us, the school made a new rule. The new rule? Do not bring glass to school, and do not play with glass on school grounds. We are the reason that rule exists. And for like a whole month afterwards, every teacher looked at us like we were idiots. I mean, they weren't wrong, right? But still, it wasn't nice. So moral of the story? Maybe, just maybe, don't karate chop glass with your friends? Question mark? Because you might end up in the ER? Question mark? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's from me.